the humble beginnings. Akorede's early years were spent amidst the rustic beauty and harsh realities of Ayekunle. The village, though picturesque with its sprawling fields and the calming rhythm of the Ogun River, was marked by hardship. The people of Ayekunle relied on agriculture, but the land, tired from years of overuse, yielded little. Akorede grew up watching his father, Oluwafemi, battle the soil every day. The man's hands, once soft, had turned rough like the bark of a tree. Yet, Oluwafemi never complained. He worked with a quiet determination that inspired young Akorede. On some days, Akorede would accompany his father to the fields. It was there that his father taught him invaluable lessons. Not just about farming, but about life. "Akorede," his father once said, his voice firm but gentle, "the earth doesn't give without asking for your sweat. It's the same with everything worth having in life." Akorede's mother, a duke, was the backbone of the family. Despite her own exhaustion, she never failed to smile or sing as she wove baskets late into the night. Her songs were full of hope, stories of ancestors who triumphed over adversity. Akorede often fell asleep to the sound of her voice, her words planting seeds of courage in his heart. As he grew older, Akorede became restless. The dreams he harbored were too big for Ayekunle. He often stared at the horizon, wondering what lay beyond. "One day, I will go there," he whispered to himself. His mother overheard him once and said, "Wherever you go, carry Ayekunle in your heart. Remember, the river never forgets its source." The decision to leave was not easy. On the day of his departure, the entire village came to bid him farewell. Akorede's father handed him a small pouch. Inside was a tiny carved figurine of an Iroko tree. "This," Oluwafemi said, "is a reminder that greatness comes from deep roots." The road of trials. The journey to Ibokun was a test of Akorede's physical and mental endurance. The first leg of the journey took him through dense forests where the trees whispered ancient secrets and the air carried the sense of wild flowers and danger. At night, Akorede would hear the cries of nocturnal animals, their sounds both haunting and humbling. On the third day, he encountered a swollen river blocking his path. With no bridge in sight, Akorede had to muster the courage to swim across. The current was strong, and for a moment panic gripped him. But as he struggled, his father's voice echoed in his mind. "The earth doesn't give without asking for your sweat." Summoning all his strength, Akorede pushed through and emerged on the other side, soaked but triumphant. In the forest, he met Babatunde, the enigmatic elder who seemed to appear out of nowhere. Babatunde was unlike anyone Akorede had met. His presence was commanding, yet his demeanor was warm. They shared a meal of roasted yam, and Babatunde told Akorede stories of great men and women who had faced unimaginable challenges. "Do you know what they all had in common?" Babatunde asked. Akorede shook his head. They never stopped moving forward, no matter how many times they fell. These words became Akorede's mantra as he finally reached Ibokun. In the city, life was both exciting and overwhelming. Ibokun was a cacophony of voices, colours and smells. The markets teemed with traders, the streets buzzed with people, and the buildings stretched toward the sky. But for all its vibrancy, Ibokun was unforgiving to outsiders. Akorede faced ridicule and rejection at every turn. Employers dismissed him as a village boy, while street children mocked his clothes. Hunger gnawed at his stomach, and loneliness wrapped around him like a cold shroud. Yet, Every time despair threatened to overwhelm him, he remembered Baba Tunde's words and his father's gift. The bonds that strengthen. Despite the harshness of city life, Akorede found allies in unexpected places. Abani, the street vendor, was the first to extend a hand of friendship. She was a petite woman with a loud voice and a sharp tongue, often scolding customers who tried to haggle too much. "You look like you could use a good meal," she said one day, handing Akorede a steaming bowl of akara. From that day on, Abani became Akorede's confidant. She taught him the unspoken rules of city life: how to bargain, how to avoid cheats, and most importantly, how to maintain dignity in the face of adversity. Then came Malik, the mechanic who worked in a rundown workshop at the edge of the city. Malik's hands were perpetually stained with grease, but his mind was as sharp as a blade. He saw potential in Akorede and began teaching him not just about mechanics, but about resilience. "Life will throw you into the fire," Malik said one evening as they worked on an old engine. "But remember, fire doesn't just destroy, it also strengthens." Inspired by his new friends, Akorede decided to start a small delivery service. With Malik's help, he repaired a discarded bicycle, and with Abani's advice, he found his first customers. The work was grueling, but Akorede felt a sense of purpose he hadn't known before. The abyss of despair. Just as Akorede's business began to take off, tragedy struck. A massive fire engulfed the main market in Ibokun, leaving many traders, including Abani, devastated. With no goods to deliver, Akorede's income vanished overnight. The loss was crushing. Akorede returned to Ayekunle, his spirit broken. He avoided the villages, ashamed of what he saw as his failure. His mother, however, refused to let him wallow in despair. She reminded him of the stories she used to sing when he was a child, stories of warriors who triumphed against impossible odds. "Do you think they never fell?" she asked one evening. "Greatness is not about never falling, it's about rising every time you do." Encouraged by her words, Akorede began to heal. He spent weeks reflecting under the baobab tree, seeking clarity and strength. Slowly, he realized that his journey was far from over. The rise to glory. Returning to Ibukun, Akorede approached Malik and Abani with a bold idea: to create a logistics company that could serve not just the city, but the surrounding villages as well. Drawing on everything he had learned, Akorede built a business model that emphasized reliability and community. Their company, Roots of Promise, started small, but its impact was immediate. Akorede's unwavering commitment to fairness and innovation won him loyal clients. Over the years, the company expanded, employing dozens of people and connecting remote communities to the city. When Akorede stood on stage at the awards ceremony, he was not just a successful entrepreneur, he was a symbol of hope. Holding the carved Iroko figurine his father had given him, Akorede spoke with tears in his eyes. "My journey began in a small village where the land was dry but the people were rich in spirit. I stand here today because of them. Remember, greatness is not found in comfort but in challenge. Let your roots guide you, no matter how far you go." The crowd erupted into applause, and Akorede's heart swelled with gratitude. His story had come full circle, and Ayekunle's son had become a beacon of inspiration for all. Akorede's legacy lived on as a reminder that resilience, humility, and the bonds of community can overcome even the greatest challenges.